Hi there, good morning and welcome. You're watching Chartbusters, the show where we highlight all the buzzing stocks of the day, get you expert advice on how to capitalize and trade on those stocks. All that packed in the next half an hour. I'm Mangla Malu, with me, Nigel D'Souza. Suffice to say, we've saved the blushes if you must. The Nifty still holding around that 10,800 mark, absolutely flat. It has recovered from the lows of the day and still hovering around the 10,800 mark for the Nifty as well as the Sensex. The good point is that the mid-cap index, that one is outperforming, gains of about 0.5% out there. The Nifty Bank absolutely flat on the weekly options expiry day. Hi, Nigel.
Hi, Manglam. You know, a couple of the stocks that you track are doing very, very well. I think Nestle is up and about. You talk about valuations, but that one, in fact, is up to 3 or 4%.
No, with regards to this pack, I will have to say only one thing. Everyone talks about the global uncertainty, domestic uncertainty, whether there will be populist measures coming by or not. There is only one certainty, that the Indian consumer story is alive and kicking. And that is what people seek, solace in?
Yeah, I mean, just look at it. Nestle is up, so people are eating Maggi for sure.
Yep.
And the second factor is, I think, Jubilant as well, Foodworks, that as well is higher. So both of them have moved to the high point of the day, I think, the last few minutes. Let's get Jubilant Foodworks, if I saw that right. That stock as well is moving higher. The big question is, post the show, does Mangalam treat us to Maggi or to a pizza? That for a later time, for the time being. Running you through all the top stories as we speak. Eicher Motors continues to decline post weak sales in December. The management tells cnbc TV 18 that commercial vehicle sales have seen stress in the last couple of months on the back of financing, which was curtailed by NBFCs. They expect Q4 FY19 to witness some growth.
Bank of Baroda, Vijaya Bank and Dena Bank react to the merger swap ratio announced yesterday. 100 shares of Dena Bank will fetch 11 shares of Bank of Baroda. 100 shares of Vijaya Bank will just fetch over 40 shares of Bank of Baroda.
And oil marketing companies, they continue to lose ground today. Oil prices rose in overnight session as Saudi oil exports were seen falling.
And telecom stocks, they're in focus, react to the October subscriber data that came by. Vodafone Idea trades weak after it loses more subscribers compared to September, while Bharti Airtel trades flat as it continues to lose subscribers, but the losses narrow to 18.5 lakh in October versus 23 lakh in September. All right, individual stocks, they're buzzing around. We have Torrent Pharma, which has moved higher, but NMDC, that one is underperforming. Nigel, it's cut prices for the third time?
Yeah, that's right. They've cut prices, in fact, for the third time in the last 35 days. Now, this time around, they've cut prices on lumps as well as on fines. So on lumps, the price cut is around 350 rupees. On fines, it is at around 300 rupees odd. And as you said, if I put the three price cuts together, that's from December 1st till now, then in fact that is nearly around 950 rupees on lumps, and on fines it is nearly around 750 rupees odd. So a sharp correction is what you've seen, more than 22% price cut in just around 35 days or so. The key reasons, Mangalam, is that you have Odisha miners. So I checked with them normally and they had cut prices a couple of days ago. So the street, yes, they were expecting NMDC to go ahead and cut prices because they have a dual problem here. One is that their Donamalai mine in Karnataka, that's shut. So that's what's going to affect volumes. And if pricing is not attractive enough, then it will affect their volumes even in Chhattisgarh. So they've gone ahead and they've cut their prices, hoping to push forward some kind of, inventory or production that they have. Saving grace for it is that next week they'll be doing a buyback. Net worth is around 26,000 crores or 10% if they do, it's around 2,600 crores. They have, cash in their books of around 5,000 crores. So that could provide some kind of support to the stock. Otherwise, not very, very good news. You'll be wondering whether or not it's good news for steel producers. Steel producers as well will be cutting prices in the next few days to align their pricing with the imported steel pricing. So keep an eye out. After a very good start to 2018, it appears that 2019 they're going to be starting off on on the back foot.
On the back foot, Nigel, and unfortunately I can't even ask you to treat me to lumps or O's as against you talking about pizzas and Maggi. But tell you what,
I can put you in the blast furnace.
No, I don't want to be in the blast. But what do you make of the timing? Yesterday the buyback announcement came by, and today there's the price cut.
These kind of things are never good news. If you had to do that price cut, you should have done the price cut first, and then in fact announce the buyback. But I've seen this in the past as well. Just take a look at it. It would have been better if they did that. This price cut, though, is not yet on the exchanges. So wait by, look at the exchange. It will be out at some point of time. But we have been getting this, spot on for the last few years. So I think, in fact, the stock is reacting to that as well, down 2.5%.
Absolutely. So that is as far as NMDC is concerned. Just keep an eye out on the markets. Nifty slipped about 10 points as we speak. Majority of those cuts coming by from Yes Bank, Z Entertainment, as well as Dr. Reddy's, all of them sitting closer to the lows of the day. And we have another gash at the metal index, which is currently at the lows of the day. But still holding around the 10,780 mark, which is also the 200-day moving average. So let's put this question across to Ashwini himself. Ashwini, 10,750 to 780 is something that you've said is a support zone. Currently, we're nudging around those levels, trudging around those levels, if you must. What would your view be on the Nifty?
See, first of all, a moving average is not a point, it's a zone. So, this 10,750, 800 for the Nifty futures is a key zone. And, the kind of reaction we had yesterday, today's reaction is fairly mild compared to that. So each time we decline towards 10,750, it's a good idea to keep accumulating. And as we can see, even global markets are now a bit lukewarm to this Dow futures falling. So my sense is at some point this correction will end and we will resolve on the upside, maybe as early as tonight, if again the Dow does not fall after a 350 point decline on the futures. The idea is to keep buying as long as 10,750 holds on. Similarly, broadly, as long as say 27,000, 27,100 holds on the Bank Nifty, there is an overall positivity. This does not look like a market which is breaking down. Having said that, individual stocks, Infosys is a buy with a stop of 668, target of 690. Jubilant Food is a buy with a stop of 1240, target of 1285. And Britannia is a buy with a stop of 3125, target of 3300. The odds of shorts getting trapped around 10,750 are fairly large. So that is exactly the wrong point to go and get short on this market.
Ashwini, you spoke about two consumer companies. You spoke about Jubilant Foodworks as well as Britannia. Nestle is up 4%. A word on that chartically. Would you choose Jubilant and Britannia over Nestle?
See, Jubilant and Britannia both have corrected very sharply and now are coming out of that correction, like Hindustan Unilever is coming out. So today is a bit of an FMCG type day. You could have, as much chosen Nestle, but we did choose Britannia and Jubilant because both of them have recently corrected. I would think Nestle is almost at previous highs of about 11,600. So the risk reward is not as great as the other two.
All right, Ashwini, your disclosures?
We have long positions on Bank Nifty and several of the stocks discussed.
Okay, all right. Ashwini will touch base with you in the next couple of hours as well. So Ashwini is clear. He believes that buying into this Nifty will make you some money. And also he's saying that, in fact, the stop loss, 10,750, that should be the level that you should be focusing on. Shorting the market at these levels will not really give you a big reward. From the broader markets, I'm looking at a few stocks. Reliance Capital has moved to the low point of the day. Reliance Infra as well is seeing some selling. So some of these Anil Ambani Group companies, they are moving lower as we speak. Keep an eye out on them. Even JSPL from the metal pack, that stock as well has continued to see some selling pressure. So keep an eye out on a few other stocks. But moving on then, on to the ongoing resolution case of SR Steel. The Committee of Creditors, that's the COC for SR Steel, they have moved the NCLAT against the slow pace of proceedings in the NCLT Ahmedabad. The case will come out for hearing very shortly. Ashmit Kumar joins us to fill us in with all those details. Ashmit, what are we looking at in this particular hearing today?
Well, the COC is clearly not happy with the pace of proceedings. COC has made it abundantly clear that there have been various adjournments, that these adjournments appear to be making the matter lag behind the prescribed deadline, that there's the pace essentially is extremely slow. That's the concern that the COC appears to have expressed. Now, keep in mind that when the matter came up for hearing the last time, which is on December 22nd, it was adjourned to January 7th, which is after the winter break, which again has caused some concern as far as the COC is concerned. As of right now, what they have essentially done is that they've moved the COC, they've moved the NCLT, I beg your pardon, essentially seeking for expediting of the proceedings. They've sought orders from the NCLT to ensure that the NCLT Ahmedabad concludes the hearing within a 7-day period. So that's the window that they're looking at. Let's also keep in mind that NCLT Ahmedabad is hearing the HR seal application for withdrawing the company altogether by repaying of 54,000 crore rupees. So a big stake here. We'll of course have the hearing begin in a short while from now, and we'll continue with the updates.
All right. Thanks a lot for that.